Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 5, which contains me, Mubassyirah, as moderator, and then our group member, Andi, Ummy, Athyah, Fitri, Rahma, Sari, Nadhifah Rifdhah, and Muhammad Fitrawan, Aqil. So here we are gonna presenting our material, and our material is needs analysis in curriculum development. So without any further ado, I invite Andi, Ummy, Athyah as the first speaker. Andi, Ummy, Athyah, time is yours.
For the opportunity given to me. Here I will explain about the introduction and the purpose of needs analysis. The first one is the introduction. Curriculum development should be viewed as a process by which meeting learners' needs to improvement of learners' learning. Therefore, curriculum developers should gather as much information as possible toward the learner's needs. Historically, needs analysis was introduced into language teaching through the ESP movement among 1916 to 1917, even though this needs analysis was to advocate only for ESP, but also for second language students in general. In fact, need analysis have been conducted informally for years by teachers who want to access the what language point their student needed to learn. Information source for such informal needs analysis might include course on several language proficiency test. This information should include to desired outcomes or expectation of a high quality programs, the role of assessment, the current status of student achievement, and actual program content. And the second material is the purpose of needs analysis. Richards 2002 in page 52 on his discussion towards needs analysis say that the first step in conducting a needs analysis is to decide exactly what is purpose or proposal. Basically, needs analysis in language teaching may be used for a number of different purposes, such as the first one is to find out what language skills a learner needs in order to perform a particular role, such as sales manager, tour guide, or university student. The second is to help determine if an existing course adequately address the needs of potential students. The third is to determine which students from a group are most in need of training in particular language skills. The fourth is to identify a change of direction that people in a reference group feel is important. And five is to identify a gap between what students are able to do and what they need to be able to do. And the last is to collect information about a particular problems learner. And and also slide selanjutnya. And also Khan 2007 in page 46 on his dissertation explained that needs analysis conduct for the purpose of evaluating learners and teachers' attitude, opinions, and belief towards a proposed or intended change or innovation should have the following framework. The first one is information about the learners relate to their purpose or pursuing a learner program. The second is present situational analysis, which may provide information about the effectiveness of the prevailing program. The third is information regarding the preferred styles of learning or learning needs. And the fourth is information regarding the importance or particular skill for the learners and their preference for their learning those skills. The five is information regarding the rule relationship between teacher and learners. And the last is information regarding the preference for teaching learner activities. Next slide, please. While the process during the class will depend on the situation as follows. The first is in one-to-one class, the teacher can simply ask them the questions and write down the answer. The second is in group class, they can ask each other question about themselves. and the language, or they can negotiate priorities or even the syllabus together. And the third is to ask each other the questions. The teacher will need to give the some help by brainstorming some categories of questions, such as the question words by brainstorming above. I think enough for the material about introduction and the purpose of needs analysis.
All right, thank you so much, Andi, Ummy, Athyah, for delivering the material. So the next material will be presented by Fitri Rahmasari. Fitri Rahmasari, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you for moderator. Here I want to explain about what are needs and the user of need analysis. The first one is what are needs. According to the Big Indonesian Dictionary, need means something that is needed. These human needs can be interpreted as something that is needed by human or human desire that must be fulfilled in order to achieve spiritual and physical satisfaction for their survival. As for Richard's explanation of needs, is it often described in terms of linguistic deficiencies, describing the difference between what the learner can currently do in the language and what he or she should be able to do. On the other hand, Richard's proposition is likely different from Porcher's proposition, as got by Richard explained that needs are something that is construct and dependent on judgment and reflect the interests and values of those who make those judgments. And the second, the user of needs analysis. Requirement analysis can be performed for a variety of different users. For example, in conducting a needs analysis to help revise a country's secondary English curriculum, and user include curriculum official in the Ministry of Education, who may wish to use the information to evaluate the adequacy of existing syllabus, curriculum, and materials. Teacher who will teach from the new curriculum, learners who will be taught from the involved in the development of the school final assessment, and college staff who are interested in knowing the level expect of students in the school and what problem they face. Determining the possible audience is an important first step in planning a needs analysis to ensure that the information they need is obtained and the needs analysis will have the impact is it designing to have. Furthermore, needs analysis can have a political dimension. It can be used to support a specific agenda.
All right, thank you so much, Fitri Rahmasari, for delivering the material. So the next material will be delivered by me. The next is the target population. According to Richards, the target population in a needs analysis refers to the people about whom information will be collected. For example, in conducting a needs analysis to determine the focus of an English program in public secondary school in an EFL context, then the target population might include policy makers, Ministry of Education officials, teachers, students, academics, employers, vocational training specialists, parents, influential individuals, and pressure groups, academic specialists, and community agencies. Basically, sampling is an important issue in determining the target population. Sampling involves asking a portion of the potential population instead of the population and seeks to create sample that is representative of the total population. For example, in conducting a needs analysis of studying foreign language at a New Zealand university, towards students' motivation for selecting a language course, dropping a language course, or choosing not to take a language course, then the sample that might be taken from the whole population of the New Zealand University students. So the first one is students currently involved in a foreign language course. The second one, students previously enrolled but knows no longer studying a language. And the third one is students who have never studied a foreign language. So actually, there are some factors in influence in determining the approach of sampling, such as the homogeneity of the population in terms of kind of skills, and then attitudes or knowledge being thought, or the need to study subgroup within the sample. And then the next is administering the needs analysis. Planning a needs analysis involves deciding who will administer the needs analysis and collect and analyze the result. Needs analysis will be vary in their scope and demands, from a survey a whole school population in a country to a study of a group in 30 learners in a single institution. Thus, the administrator on a needs analysis of the language needs of non-English background students studying at a New Zealand university might involve the researchers team made up of 2 academic and a researcher assistant, colleagues in the different departments who discuss the project and review sample questionnaires, students who plotted the questionnaire, academic staff of the university who administered some of the questionnaire, and secretarial support involved in preparing questionnaires and tabulating data. I think that's all from me. So the next material will be delivered by Nadhifah Rifdhah. Nadhifah Rifdhah, time is yours.
So the procedure for conducting need analysis. In conducting a need analysis, the provisions of procedure is need to collect information from sources that are believed to have experienced the things to be investigated. There are various procedures that can be used in conducting a need analysis that can be selected as follows. Number 1 is questionnaire. Questionnaires are one of the most common data collection or are often used by anyone. According to into 2 parts that are, first is the respondents choose the respondents can answer as is. Number 1 is self-assessment. In the procedure, to assess a person's knowledge and abilities. However, the change to impressionistic and inaccurate. Number 3 is interview. Interviews are considered more effective procedure than other, which can be done face-to-face or by telephone. However, interviews can be used as the beginner of a questionnaire to explore the topic to be analyzed. So is it feasible to use interviews in order to get a lot of structured or consistent response? Number 4 is meeting. Probability of gathering information in short period of time is impressionistic, subjective, and ideas are disorganized. Number 5 is observation. Observation is a way to assess students' behavior. And number 6 is task analysis. This task analysis was carried out by students in English regarding future education, linguistic assessment, and task demands. Number 7 is case study. This case study made one student or group of students selecting and following from relevant educational experience or work to determine the characteristic of the situation. And the last is analysis of available information. In this section, this procedure is the first step because the problem analysis are still viewed before conducting other information researches. Need analysis can gather information through books, articles, journal, reports, and surveys, notes, and files. In addition to the 8 procedures, there is another instrument that called the General English Language Needs Analysis, or called GENA.
This special instrument is taken by general program English students with course in speaking, listening, writing, reading, culture-oriented, exam preparation, and computer-assisted language learning. There are 7 sections are as follows in this Gelna. First is culture-oriented course. 7 is called course. The third is listening course. Number 4 is reading course. Number 6 is speaking. Number 5 is speaking course. Number 6 is test preparation course, and the last is writing course. I think that's all from me. I give it back to moderator.
All right, thank you so much, Nadhifah Rifdhah, for delivering the material. So for the last material will be delivered by Muhammad Fitrawan Aqil. Muhammad Fitrawan Aqil, the time is yours.
Thank you, moderator. Now I will explain my material. Next is designing the needs analysis. Designing a need analysis involves choosing from among various procedures above and selecting those that are likely to give a comprehensive view of learners' needs that represent the interests of the different stakeholders involved. Decision on choosing particular procedures should consider some factors, such as collecting, organizing, analyzing, and reporting the information collected. It is important to make sure that the need analysis does not produce information overload. Therefore, the reason for collecting should be stated clearly to ensure that the only information that will actually be used is collected. The step-by-step procedures can be followed in the investigating the learner's needs are: first is literature survey, then analysis of a wide range of survey questionnaires, then contact with others who have conducted similar surveys, interviews with teachers to determine goals, identification of participant departments, presentation of project proposal to participating departments, and identification of licensed person in each department, development of a pilot student and staff questionnaire, review of the questionnaires by colleges, piloting of the questionnaires, selection of staff and student subjects, developing a schedule for collecting data, administration of questionnaires, follow-up interviews with selected participants, tabulation of response, analysis of response, and finally, writing up of report and recommendations. Those 16 procedures above are appropriately or commonly used for larger scale needs analysis, while for small scale need analysis, such as that of a teacher or group assessing the needs of new group of students in a language program, the procedures might consist of: first, initial questionnaires, follow-up individual and group interview, meeting with students, meeting with other teachers, ongoing classroom observations, and finally, tests. Next is making use of the information obtained. The data obtained from data collection process usually summarized in the form of ranked lists of different kinds. Therefore, analysis and research would be needed to further understanding what is implied by each answer. In fact, there might be a number of different points of view emerge as of what should be changed. For example, learners view more support from learning needed and reduction of the amount of material they had to study. Academics view better preparation for tertiary studies needed in terms of reading and writing skills. Employers view better preparation for employment requirement in terms of basic communication skills. And teachers view better grasp of grammar needed by learners. From the case above, it is also important to remember that because needs are not objective facts but subjective, then the interpretation of information from a large variety of sources, a great deal of consultation is needed with the various stakeholders to ensure that the conclusions drawn from a needs analysis are appropriately relevant. I think that's all from me. And now I will return to the moderator.
All right, thank you so much, Muhammad Fitrawan Aqil, for delivering the material. So I think that's all, guys. All right, that was presentation from our group about needs analysis and curriculum development. Thank you so much for watching our group presentation. I think that's all from us. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.